Hi there, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to learn another important data type in Python, that is file. For those of you who haven't yet subscribed to my channel yet, I request you to do so at this point, as you can expect more interesting topics to be learned from our upcoming videos. By the end of this video, we will learn what is a file data type, how to read an existing file, create a new file, write data to a file, different modes of a file, and different file types that are necessary to learn as a Python beginner. Just a note here before we begin. These initial videos are just to help you to start with basics and trying to cover those features which are necessary to learn only while starting to learn Python. We will uncover huge capabilities of each of these concepts eventually. In Python, file handling is an essential part of any web or software application. It allows you to interact with files on your system, be it reading from them or writing to them. Now, talking about the syntax, it's all embedded in a built-in function called open to access a file from the system. For example, I will have a simple text file saved in my desktop with some content in it. To begin with, the first task is I need to access this file's content through my Python script, for which I will use the function open and pass the location of the file along with the file name and its extension. With this first step, I have a variable which apparently has the access to the file with file as the data type. Next step is to see what is in the file, and that can be done using another function read, which is called on top of the variable that we have created here. When we print the value of this variable, we would see what is inside the file. Note, here the file name is not case sensitive. We can switch the case of the text and it continues to access the file. We can also create another variable which will use the read method from the file above to get the content. Few points to discuss on this location itself that we are passing here. This is in fact considered as a string data type. I can create another variable here that has this location as the value, and we can replace this location with the new variable and the output remains the same. Also, the data type of this variable will be a string. If you notice here, I'm passing the location with forward slashes, where normally the locations will be with backslashes. Another way is, as this is a string data type, we can use the string prefix r to consider it as a raw string while we continue to use it with forward slash or backward slash. Either that, or we can continue using the backslash but add another backslash as an escape character. To summarize, the location is a string data type which can be used along with raw string prefix while we use backslash or change all backslashes to forward slashes, and the last approach is using an escape character to include the backslashes in the location. Most of the times, we will have a folder created for a project and store the necessary files in a structure. As in, let us say I have a project folder and I have two subfolders where I might have two separate files in each. Now, when we need to access these files, we may have to play with a shorthand to access it easily, and it should continue working the same way no matter where we move our project folder. In which case, we use two simple symbols which are dot and a slash. Let us say my Python file is in the directory and the file that I need to access is also in the same directory. I can simply call the name of the file with its extension or with a single dot and a slash followed by the name and extension. Similarly, if my file is in a parent directory where I can use double dot and a slash to tell the compiler that my file is located by one parent away. For example, if we must go by two parent directories for a file, we can use two double dots with a slash like this. And likewise, we can continue using these double dots with slash for every parent directory. To summarize the shorthand, it's single dot with a slash for the file in current directory of our script and a double dot with a slash for every parent directory. Now that we understood how we can read an existing file, I will try and answer the next question on how to write something into a file, for which we need to understand an argument called mode of this function open. Let's not worry about what is an argument, as we will cover functions separately in our next videos. For now, we will have to just consider that we need to provide an additional information to this function so that it can provide more options for us to perform on a file, which is nothing but a mode of the file. For us to write to a file, all we need to do is open a file in write mode, and to do so, we can pass an argument mode with the value w in it, where w stands for write. Now, the file is accessed in a write mode, and as a next step, we can use another function with this file to write lines inside the file. Now, when we go ahead and reopen the file, we will see this data entered. We can use all string related concepts to write into a file, like writing in a new line, including escape characters and other concepts of strings. At the end, we should always make a practice to close the file if we have opened it, as keeping it open will have memory leaks and buffer issues with the file. Sometimes, without having it closed through the script, you may not see the updated values in the file too. So always make a practice of closing the file if you have opened it. Similar to the write mode, we have few other modes to try out, which are read, append, binary, and exclusive. The differences are when we open a file in read mode, we cannot write into it, and this feature is for security reasons if in case you do not want to alter the content of the file and only want to read from it. Also, when using read mode, it will open only if the file exists in the location. Now, in write mode, it will open an existing file and completely delete the content in it and write anything as new in the file. And if the file does not exist, then it will create it as a new file and add the content in it. Likewise, when using append mode, it will append to the file if it exists, and if it does not, it will create it as a new file and write it as a new line in it. Then binary mode is with the value B, and that is used when you are reading an image file or any other types of encoded data which needs to be converted into a binary value. The exclusive mode is for exclusively creating a new file and open it in write mode. Note, here if the file is already existing, it will throw a file exists error. We can combine these and perform multiple operations together, which we will cover when we talk about what is file handling and different complex operations that can be performed together in our upcoming videos too. For now, I would request you to understand file as a data type and learn basic requirements to start using files in your script. We have been looking at only a text file. Well, Python does support other files like JSON, CSV, where the values will be comma separated, XML file, images can be JPG, PNG, JPEG, etc. As a part of your exercise, I would request you to create these sample files on your own and try performing read-write operations and post any questions if you come across any. Again, the intention here is to start learning the basics of this data type, and later we will look at file handling in detail. So there you have it, a quick and easy guide to file data types in Python. Whether you're working with any text, binary or CSV files, Python has got you covered. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.